You know, when I was a kid, I went to the movies and I went and saw Indiana Jones, and I was blown away. Dun, da, 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 dun, da, da, dun, da, da, da. You know what I'm talking about, right? And the adventure that he had, and how he was in these faraway places, these jungle places. And I didn't know it then, but the Lord was sparking something within me. And after I got saved and started doing this work, the Lord started sending me all over Central and South America, doing an incredible work. Now, I haven't been going by myself. I've always gone with my wife, and then somebody else started to partner with me, and somebody else, and then we started taking tremendous teams of people into all these different places. We started saving little boys, little girls out of sexual trafficking. We started building food banks all over the place. We started going into places that were ravaged by the cartel. We started confronting witches and witch doctors and bringing the love of King Jesus into those kinds of places. We started building medical clinics. Guys, I want to just tell you, the people that I've traveled with all over the world are just incredible. And the impact that we've been able to make is exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ask or even think. Hello, everybody. I'm Troy Brewer, and you're still going to love this show. Today, this is special. Usually, we just go here and I preach, but today, I'm not just going to preach, I'm going to demonstrate. Today is a show that's full of testimonies, it's full of miracles. I have Pastor Gina Zagari is going to be with me. He's from Mexico and from Brownsville, Texas. I have Brother Matt Shelton. He runs a bunch of my ministries here. I have, Brother Steve has been with me. And these are just regular guys that are doing extraordinary things. You're so going to love this. Friends, this is the Open Door Experience. Well, hello, my friends. Blessing and peace on you in the mighty name of King Jesus. Guys, welcome to a very special episode of the ODX, the Open Door Experience. Typically, I am preaching from this very stage, which is the big stage here at Open Door Church. But today, guys, we turned it into like a really cool TV set. It looks good, doesn't it, guys?
It does.
Man, it does.
Awesome.
It's fun. I want to show you how we demonstrate what I preach every single Sunday here at Open Door. What's real is I didn't start off as a church. Our ministry didn't start off as a church. Our ministry started off as a food outreach. And then once we built the food bank, it turned into a church. So we were like born breach, right? And we've been doing this kind of ministry for way over 30 years. And today, I have some of my closest friends and ministry partners with me. So Brother Matt, blessing and peace on you, man.
Thank you, Troy. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Good.
And you're a big part of my team, and you help me in all ways that we save boys and girls out of sexual trafficking, all of our food banks all over the world. I mean, you're kind of a big deal.
Am I?
Yeah, man, you are.
It's because I'm on your team.
And you actually converse and you find out all the testimonies. Plus, you go to all these places. Just within the past few months, where all have you been, buddy?
Yeah, just the past few months, I've been to Mexico, been to Belize twice, been to Uganda for 2 weeks, and just gotten to see kind of what it all looks like from every different angle, every different culture. Everything's a little bit different relative to where you're at, but man, King Jesus looks the same.
We had our guy from Cambodia, and he runs our Cambodia and Taiwan operations, and he came here and he was with us for 2 months, and you've been working hard, and he's an undercover guy.
That's right.
That works in unbelievable darkness as an undercover agent.
Yeah.
He's been doing that kind of work for like 13 years now, and rescues boys and girls and shuts down networks. And then like over in Belize, we are saving people out of a culture that says it's okay to sell your little boys and your little girls if that's how it helps your family.
Right.
Right? And then in Uganda, we are saving people that are literally owned by other human beings in some of the worst situations ever. But the biggest situation there that we work with is with the orphans who have no care whatsoever, and they're just vulnerable. And then in India, we're working with boys and girls who are bought and sold by other human beings.
Right.
And then in Nepal, we are working on people who are stealing kids and luring them into the whole sexual trafficking industry. And we have people on the front lines in all those areas, don't we?
That's right. Yeah, it's a $40 million problem today. And you know what we look at is when we look at all these different communities that we're doing work in, it's going to look different. You know, when you talk about our guy in the Philippines in Southeast Asia, you're right. You know, what we're doing there is pulling down networks. We're not going after the 1 and the 2 and the 5. We're going in for years. uncovering what that looks like. What's cool about Uganda, just coming back from Uganda, in a matter of 10 years, you go from jungle that's controlled by some local voodoo, where child sacrifice, where cannibalism.
Murdering those children, literally murdering them.
That's right. How do you ever stop that, Troy? I'll tell you how it was stopped. It was through the heart of a child. And you know, when we built the schools and orphanages and just all the support care that went along with that, you know, I think when you get into these situations, sometimes you look at this and see, man, the level of, number one, the level of evil, right? You combine that with culture, you combine that with the years and generations that's all been going on. How do you actually provide change that's a generational change? Through the heart of a child. It's absolutely unbelievable. We get to see that in Belize, we get to see that in Mexico and Nicaragua. Man, it's just an exciting time to be doing that.
Yeah, we built this village. We bought 20 acres of land and built an entire village in the shadow of a mountain that was used for more than 1,000 years to take children to the top of the mountain and literally murder them.
Yeah.
And also too, during the time that demoniac Coney was going over there and rounding up kids and putting guns in their hands and causing them to be children soldiers. And the place was so decimated, and it had also been decimated by Idi Amin, and then it had been decimated by AIDS right after that. And that's when we landed there.
Yeah.
And man, you talk about being overwhelmed, because I'm from Joshua, Texas.
Absolutely.
You know, we're like, what in the wide world of sports are we gonna be able to do with this? It starts with one kid.
That's right.
And then from there, it turns into this and that and that, and you just have a yes in your spirit.
Yes.
That's what you do.
That's exactly.
We've seen it, and you do that for decades, like what we've been doing. Man, you end up having these kinds of conversations with lifelong friends, and you just say, man, can you believe we're here in this place? Because, man, when we first started, it was nothing like this. Steve Stone, man, bro, number one, you've traveled the world being in part of a famous band, and you were the bass man in a very successful band. Traveled all over the place. You were also very much involved in ministry. And then, man, you hooked up with me like a crazy man, quit all of that in order to rescue boys and girls and to help kids that nobody else loves. Why in the world would you do that?
Why would you not do that? You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, it's just the next season of my life. It's just the next assignment, and God's knitted our hearts together in that, and we get a front row seat to some pretty cool stuff.
Pastor Gina Zagara, you've been with me for 25 years. You and I have been doing ministry together. We've been feeding people, helping people, loving people. We've been doing prophetic conferences all over the world, food outreaches all over the world, rescuing anybody that need to be rescued, seeing the power of God. Sometimes, if it wasn't for the power of God, we wouldn't have made it through certain situations.
Yes.
And literally have had the cartel try and kill us. We've had machine guns pointed at us.
Yep.
on several times, not just once or twice, but on several occasions. And you yourself was in the middle of central Mexico and had a mob of people put a rope around your neck, and they were going. We've been in dangerous places.
Yes, sir.
We've been in dangerous places, and where sin does abound, grace does much more abound, my brother.
A lot more.
We're talking about reaching some of the darkest places you can possibly imagine. I mean, and not being afraid to go there. Now I'm getting older, and everything hurts now, right? And my recovery time is a whole lot more. But we're still going, and we're still doing this, and actually more now than ever before, because of partners. And what we didn't have 20 years ago is, listen, we had faith, and we had passion, and we had the Holy Spirit, but man, we didn't have any partners.
Yes.
And gosh, everything was hard for us to do. But now, everything's changed. And now, man, we're doing a work literally all over the planet Earth. You know, on this episode, we're actually talking about Central America. And you two guys have been down to Belize a bunch of times. Within the past couple of years, you've been, I don't know how many times you've been, Steve. But we're actually building freedom houses down there, right, to save boys and girls. And we're actually we have a birthing clinic down there. And I don't know how many babies we're birthing a year, but hundreds of babies now, walking them through the entire process, and then finding out in the midst of that there's some of these girls that need to be rescued. And so now we're building homes to put them in. We have schools, we have training centers, we have sewing schools. We're taking care of special needs kids out in the middle of nowhere. This is a picture right here of me and a couple of our rescue girls. And they're just so beautiful and they're so awesome. This is a picture of some of our graduates from one of our sewing machine schools. And they actually put together their own gown, their own graduation gown. Right?
Yeah,
and that's a really big deal.
That's great.
Man, that's it. This is a picture of a girl and her baby that I was able to rescue with some other people. We went way out to the Guatemalan border and went and got her and then brought her back to one of our rescue homes. And this is her and her baby. I mean, this is real and this is what we do, isn't it, Steve?
That's right.
Over in Matamoros, there's 3 children at Open Door.
Right, so there's 3 children's homes.
The children, yeah.
Just in Matamoros, Mexico.
Just in Matamoros, yeah.
That,
you know, they're part of my ministry, right? The 3 churches, Matamoros, and all of them got a diner for kids.
Yep.
They have everything, and probably 50% of the kids that are there, they're sons or daughters of cartel people.
Yep.
So they're orphans.
Man, you know about the work that we're doing down there. I mean, you saw our cerebral palsy clinic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've
Matamoros,
seen that
yeah.
in Matamoros. Trying to find the kind of difference that it makes to be able to have that.
That's right.
For those people.
Yeah, so, you know, whether we're working with a gentleman who is 68 years old, and 6 years ago, it was him and his wife figuring out how they're gonna live out the rest of their life. And it's in the red light district of Matamoros. So all these kids in this area their fathers are in cartel, their mothers are working the streets, so they're fending for themselves. But they were good enough to accept the one local couple coming to them and begging them to take their kids because they couldn't take care of them anymore. Well, that 2 turned into 26. You know, we just got
and they're an older couple too.
Oh
Man.
gosh, yes. But man, they're doing
Killing
a
it.
work. Yes. And it's just absolutely unbelievable. You know, talking about Belize, man, this picture right here is what I love, and this is what redemption looks like. All the work that we put in for all these number of years, what we're starting to see is whether it's the Freedom Home, whether it's the Pregnancy Center, whether it's the food banks, it's all starting to come together. And now this is a picture of Tanya. Tanya with a lady on one of our routes that we feed named Humera. Humera weighed 60 pounds at one point. And you know all the details that goes along with that, but the beautiful part about this picture is Tanya is a local there that we met on a trip 2 trips ago. And now she has gone from being a person in a relationship that was dangerous for her to redeem from that, to now trying to get other folks rescued, to now going out on these food routes and praying and blessing these women that need it. And it's like full circle transformation. Yes, it's just absolutely amazing.
That's crazy cool. Okay, so those are amazing testimonies, right? Well, these are all true stories, and this is what God is doing among us. And you know what? Help me get the good news out. Become a media missionary. Like this, share this, subscribe to this, comment on it, and then also hit the little, I don't know, that little bell button on there, right? God bless you so much.